We need more narcissism. Now, wait a second. A few weeks ago, if you remember, I talked about narcissism, narcissistic personality disorder. It affects 3 to 4% of the world's population, which, when you think about it, is quite a whopping number. A narcissist is all about themselves. They have a grandiose sense of themselves. They feel they need endless admiration. They feel that they deserve special treatment. Because of this, because they're so selfish and just into themselves, they do not have the capacity for empathy or for caring about others. Classically, people with narcissism, as a result, have a series of very unhealthy relationships. They rarely show up in a psychiatrist's office because, of course, there's nothing wrong with me. And then, probably most powerfully, when all is said and done, they blame you for all of their problems. So why do I say we need more narcissism? Because in actual fact, there's a healthy type of narcissism. What do I mean? Healthy narcissism is the foundation of a well-developed self. Without some narcissism, we cannot really love properly. We can't achieve authentically. We cannot even survive emotionally. With healthy narcissism, we see ourselves as valuable and competent, and that's so important. As a result, we don't have this need to dominate or to diminish others, and we can survive criticism and failure. I think a great way to look at it is think of a child who turns to their parents, a little child, and says, "Mom and Dad, watch me, look at this." And of course, we parents, we celebrate total adulation. It's that core that we need early in our lives, that yes that we need to be celebrated. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. When I think of healthy narcissism, I think of it in terms of 6 particular categories. Number 1 is to have self-respect. You know, we human beings, we aren't perfect, we're imperfect, we're supposed to be that way. But at the same time, we can't let other people just sort of walk all over us. We cannot be a doormat. We all are worthy of being treated well. Self-respect. Number 2 is to have a healthy ambition. Ambition, not because we want to impress others, but because we want to reach our full potential and then go out into the world and light it up. Number 3 is to have emotional resilience. People with healthy narcissism, when they suffer failures or criticism, which we all do, they're able to withstand that because they have a strong inner core. Number 4 is empathy. Now, I know when we think of classic narcissistic personality disorder, they lack empathy. But somebody with the healthy type of narcissism, because they have this strong inner sense, they're actually able to care for others. They're able to feel for others, to connect with the other person's inner world. Number 5 is what I call spontaneity and creativity. To be able to take risks, to be able to go out there and express yourself and not avoid. All too many people, they avoid and they hide. Express yourself, take risks. People with healthy narcissism, think of it this way, they have this strong, sturdy voice inside of them saying, you matter and you can grow. And so a story I came across I'd like to share with you, and so I read. It's called The Mirror in Miriam's Office. Miriam was a psychotherapist with a warm laugh and unapologetically bold red glasses. She had a thriving practice, and though her shelves were lined with books on trauma, anxiety, and human development, there was one thing about Miriam that most of her colleagues found curious: the mirror behind her desk. It wasn't for the patients. It was angled ever so slightly toward her. Occasionally, during sessions, she'd glance at it. Not vainly, not obsessively, just appreciatively. One day, a new client named Alex, a weary-looking startup executive, noticed it. "Is that mirror for you?" he asked, halfway between amusement and judgment. Miriam smiled. It is. Alex laughed. You check your reflection while people talk about their problems? Miriam leaned back, still smiling. Not to check, to remember. Remember what? He asked. That I exist, that I matter too. Alex frowned. Isn't that narcissistic? Yes, Miriam said, but in a healthy way. Alex blinked. Miriam continued, I've spent years helping people find their voice, set boundaries, reclaim their worth. But I realized I can't guide people out of their self-doubt if I'm drowning in mine. I need to love the person in that mirror, not as a god or a goddess, just as a human being worthy of care. Over time, Alex noticed how grounded she was, how she never took over the conversation, but never let herself disappear either. She didn't need to be adored, but she wouldn't tolerate being disrespected. She celebrated her successes with a quiet pride and admitted her mistakes with grace. One day, Alex caught himself glancing into the mirror behind her. He smiled. Miriam noticed. It's okay, she said. It's a good mirror. And in that moment, Alex saw something new. Not just his reflection, but the possibility that he too could matter without apology. Healthy narcissism, he realized, wasn't being full of oneself. It was about being full enough to give without going empty. Which brings us to the sixth characteristic of healthy narcissism, and that is that we have a soul whose core is strength and dignity and pure goodness. When we connect to that, then we have no need, none whatsoever, to inflate ourselves. Somebody with healthy narcissism, they use the strength that they have inside themselves, the confidence that they have inside themselves, to see that they can change the world, make the world a better place. But it's also tempered with a certain amount of humility. In a story I once heard, we should think of ourselves that we have two pieces of paper in each of our pockets. One paper says, I am nothing but dust and ashes. The other piece of paper says, for me, the world was created. I think somebody with healthy narcissism, they know how to balance these two pieces of paper and at times know when to pick which paper out of which pocket. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. Gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. So yes, healthy narcissism. We are here to bring more light into the world, but it all starts with that light from within.